All right. I got a little bit of a sore throat, but we're gonna do this anyway. I'm gonna have to drink something. Here we got the classic Monster Energy, a clear classic. I've been drinking this off and on for years too. What do they got in here? 166 milligrams of caffeine, 2,000 taurine. They got some grape skin extract. They got some guarana. What else they got in here? Riboflavin, niacin, B6, B12, and some astronomical proportions. So again, we'll judge this as we do our our strange methods. 25 for aroma, 25 for palate, 25 for finish, 10 for texture, and 15 for my personal experience in this lovely Copita. Well, the carbonation evaporated immediately on this. Look at that. The Red Bull actually retained its carbonation for quite a while, but look at that. It just went absolutely flat in 1 second. Interesting. This is a bit of a darker color than you got off the Red Bull. It's more of more into the copper there. And it seems in more recent years, despite the fact that there is added sugars in this, it's not sugar-free. They do also have some sucralose in here, so it's got a bit of both worlds going on. Well, I think my vertical camera is a little off center. Let's just fix that real quick. It's not snapping for some reason, but there it is. All right, there we are. Oh. Yep, that's that like chalky rockets aroma. If you don't know what I mean, those like little chalky pellet candies that come in the roll. Where I am, they're called rockets. I don't know if they have a different name somewhere else, but rocket candies. Pretty much just tastes like rock, or it doesn't taste like, it smells like rockets. That's pretty much bang on. I don't know if I'm going to get much else out of this. Maybe weird thing to say, but like slight floral component. Like yeah, like almost like a Highland floral component. All right, here's our friend Monster, the regular green one on the palette. Cheers. Huh. It's interesting. When you really assess it, you know, it does hit initially, again, like that very sweet Kind of rockets, candy, slightly chalky candy flavor. But you do get like a little bit of a transition in there. Let me see if I can like try to verbalize kind of like where that goes. The carbonation actually seems bang on, despite the fact that it looks really flat. This has a better carbonation, I feel, than the Red Bull, actually. Because it's definitely complementary and not overbearing. And I think the Red Bull, in comparison to this one, the carbonation was a little bit too much. Now that I'm witnessing what it is, like a little bit toned down, this is a better carbonation level, I think. I'm getting a note that I would describe as like almost like a vanilla, like a French vanilla, like a French vanilla ice cream kind of note. And then like the fruity components are kind of like going deeper into like more like apple and pear, but not mango. You have XLR interface? Yes. Well, I sure hope so. Or else, so this is running on Voodoo Magic. Do you run your headphones through it also? I do not. I could. It is made for it, but I don't. I don't monitor through it at all. But it is made for it. Kind of gets more tart on the back of the palate. A little bit acidic. Finish is like non-finish. Like it's not even remotely lasting. It's non-existent. Which interface do you have? I have the Wave XLR. It's just a little thing. This thing right here. And it just has like a dial. It can take mic, headphones, mix, and I can change between them by clicking on the dial. It's a button. And the top has a mute. So if I just pass my finger over, it's not a button, it's just touch contact. It'll mute my microphone. You'll see this will turn red. And that mutes everything. That's all there is to it. It has phantom power and everything. It's kind of nice, to be honest. Just for like a little single XLR. The problem with it is, like, if I wanted to add one of my other microphones, for example, this is only a single interface. Yeah, it's specifically made for my use case, yeah. Trying to set up my home musical studio. Yeah, you probably have one of the ones that's more like professional. Like what's I can't remember there was another one I was looking at that had a couple of interfaces. Mine is dual, but my Scarlett, yeah, I think Scarlett was one of the ones I was looking at. Headphones are sounding crackly. And I'm assuming you mean they sound crackly, but they sound fine every other time. Like if you plug them into your computer, it's probably fine. I don't know if it's the kind of thing where I don't know if you can adjust frequencies on that thing at all, but one of the main instances of crackling that I've experienced has to do with a frequency. So I don't know if there's some kind of way that you can change the frequency on it for headphones. I don't know if that's even a thing, but it's caused by like a frequency mismatch, that like sound. Of course, it can also be caused if like your cord is damaged or something like that too. But the idea is assuming the headphones are nothing wrong with them. Sample rate, yeah, sure. The frequency of the sample rate. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I'm not like an audio wizard. I just know like basically how my shit works. Anytime I've had a problem, I try to figure out why it's causing the issue. And crackling, like one of the main causes seems to be a mismatch in the frequency sample rate. Not the like bit size, but the frequency, the hertz. I don't know if that helps or not. Probably not, but like maybe there's a world where I could have run into that issue if I did actually plug my headphones into the XLR interface to monitor it properly, like someone who really knows what they're doing, but I do not do that. But I do know that if, for example, I run my XLR interface at it runs multiple hertz sample rates. If I pump it up to the highest quality sample rate and then run it through OBS, the OBS sample rate is actually not high enough, and I'm giving it too much if I put up my quality to the max, and the output is crackly as a result. So I had to like reduce my sample rate or whatever until like it matched the rate that my program could tolerate, for example. But I don't know if that's like a real thing with headphones or not. I mean, maybe, I don't know. All right, so let's focus on the aroma. And again, it's like chalky rocket candy, slight floral component, maybe like some French vanilla, and then you could go into like apple and pear. Like pretty good actually. 19. All right. Honestly, Monster is pretty good. I think this is better than Red Bull in terms of this situation. You want some regular Monster?
The green one?
Just the regular green one, yeah.
No, that's what I used to drink when you started. Nostalgic taste?
I thought you just assumed that. I just assumed that you thought the white one was better, so you don't drink that anymore.
No, the white one has
that
210 calories.
It's got sugar in it, absolutely.
What was this in the blue one? Peanut butter cups. Yep, the new.
Man, it's like straight sugar sweetness right at the beginning. You get some more of that like chalky rocket flavor.
Oh, that's
Yeah, like rockets.
good.
Yeah, it's like rocket candy.
I don't like
No, I'm on drink 2. I'm on drink 2. We've got all kinds of them. What? No. This is only the second one I've ever done though. Yes. Those are yours. It does bleed a little bit into juice at the back of the palate though, a little bit tart. Monster should sponsor you, making it sound amazing. This is like, in terms of like flavor depth, this is objectively better than the Red Bull, I think. I hate to say. It's just fact. The texture is better too. It's less, it's still a little bit sticky, but it's less sticky. And the carbonation's better rate as well. I do think there's like a sweet French vanilla thing in it though. And slightly floral. I stand behind those notes. Now there is like something at the back of the palate that's kind of like slightly acidic, slightly tart. That is like maybe not the most pleasant taste. But it's not in the finish. The finish just doesn't exist. I kind of like the palate though. I'd say. It's just the truth. Give the palate 19 as well. I'll focus on the finish, but I get the feeling this is a non-finish. This is like an easy 12 or a 10 or something like that. You get a little bit of like apple, pear, and rockets candy on the finish, actually. We'll call it 13. It's like almost non-existent, but it's there. So from a texture perspective, again, I actually like the carbonation of this one better than the carbonation I had on the Red Bull. The Red Bull actually was like, I kind of thought it was pretty good, but this one's better. It's like slightly less carbonated. And as a result, you kind of like can experience more of the flavor, but it still adds to the texture, that little bit of carbonation. And this one is not as sticky as the Red Bull was. I don't know if that's like a direct... I'm like trying to read. I think there's slightly less sugar in this than Red Bull. I don't know if it's related to the sugar content exactly, but this one doesn't come across as sticky. It's a little sticky, but not too bad. Texture, I'll go 7. Alright, so out of 15, my personal experience with this one regular green Monster Energy, a classic beverage. Which actually surprised me. We'll say this surprised me a little bit. I knew I was coming in to kind of sort of expecting that kind of like slightly oversweet, chalky candy aroma. But when I really got into this one, and I got it in the Copita, I didn't kind of hate kind of what I got there. Because there is like... yeah, this like kind of like chalky rockets, like overt flavor, but you can almost kind of deconstruct that a little bit into some of that kind of like sweet French vanilla flavor and like almost like a floralness and like apple and pear kind of at the bottom. And those like together kind of like, I feel like formulate that kind of like rockets flavor, like when you put them together. But if you really kind of deconstruct them, I think you end up with like actually a pretty interesting set of notes. Like I almost promise you that if you really look for it, you'll get vanilla on this. I don't think there's like vanilla extract in here, but who knows? It's just like, oh, the ingredients list is a horrible concoction of random, unreadable nonsense. So who knows? I guess they kind of scapegoat a little bit and they just say, well, there's some flavors in here. It's like, okay. Oh, there's definitely vanilla in this. I don't know that there's like actually vanilla extract, but there's a vanilla note for sure. I can't be convinced otherwise. So out of 15, maybe not the flavor profile most people kind of would go for, because again, it does kind of like that Brockett's candy flavor when you put it in a drink. It does border a little bit on the like medicinal side. And also, again, like at the back of the palate of this, there is some very clear acidity. You can definitely detect it on the sides of your tongue. There's certain acidic note and a certain tartness that maybe is not the most pleasant. But those things aside, like, honestly, I wasn't expecting to find this much individual flavor to pick out of this. There's a little bit of flavor transition on the palate too, which is kind of nice. Of course, the finish is non-existent. But also mostly kind of a little bit impressed with the texture when you really focus on it. It is a little bit sticky, but it's not too bad. And the carbonation, I feel like, is just right on this. And I was coming off of the Red Bull that I kind of thought the carbonation was just right on that one. But when I compare my experience today with the carbonation level against that of the Red Bull, I feel like this one, it's slightly less carbonated, but it's actually a better carbonation rate in order to experience what's actually in here. So again, a perennial classic. I feel like there's a world where this could taste more appealing to more people and maybe like less medicinal. I guess that's like where the bad marks are. Again, Rocket's Candy Liquid is maybe not the most inviting flavor. I know that my kid does not eat the Rockets and I end up with them at Halloween. So if that says anything. So I feel like I should score this experience. I feel like this experience, despite this is not what I typically go for, it doesn't have anything to do with the taste necessarily. I feel like the taste complexity here, maybe a little bit better than the Red Bull. So I can't really give it a 7. I'll give it a 9. So we calc this together. We got 19 and 19. What a great scores. And 13 and 7 and 9 is 67. 67 out of 100. This is great. Can you believe this? This is a great beverage. It just barely meets the qualifications to be considered great.